guys, today we are going to do a comparison of automobile companies. This comparison will be based on 5-metric analysis. Okay, 5-metric analysis means in which we are going to consider 5 factors, and those 5 factors will be used to compare the results of Q1 2023 of Maruti Suzuki, Mahindra and Mahindra and Tata Motors. These 5 factors were already discussed in details in my previous video. If you have not checked yet, then the link will be given in the description below. Automobile sector is why significant? Because it is the 5th largest sector within Nifty 50 and it makes up almost 6% of index. These automobile companies involve manufacturing of vehicles like Tata Motors, Maruti Suzuki, etc. etc. Today's video will cover 5-metric analysis. We'll see the results of each company and then we are going to look who performed better in our market. So 5 metrics will be usually the revenue growth, gross margin, operating margin, market share and EPS growth. These are the 5 factors which we are going to use for our comparison. So after comparing these 5 factors, we will see among these companies that who performed better in market with respect to their share price. So let's see who is best, and this comparison will be done on the basis of Q1 results of 2023 that starts from April 2022 and end at June 2022. Okay, so let's begin. The first parameter we are going to compare is revenue growth. So revenue growth, like many other sector, for auto companies also, revenue come from selling vehicles. As it sell more and more vehicles, its revenue increases too. So here what happened is, in those years that in right from 2019, 2020 and 2021, the revenue of automobile companies was slightly negative, or we can say they were negatively impacted due to COVID. So as people stopped buying vehicles and started saving more money for their essential things, so revenue declined. However, it has recovered since then. Companies that were able to consistently grow their revenues tend to become the market leader automatically. So as shown in this slide, that Mahindra and Mahindra have grown their revenue by 15%, which is almost 3 times that of Tata Motors. And Maruti Suzuki grew their revenue by 10%. So here we can say that Mahindra and Mahindra wins in terms of the revenue growth. The second metric which we are going to use for analysis is gross margin. Now what is gross margin, or what the gross margin indicates? It indicates the profit made out of revenues after paying for raw materials. Now what are the raw materials? For automobile company, mainly the raw materials are like steel, aluminium, plastic and the auto parts, which are the major cost for the auto companies. So if the gross margin is improved or if it is positive, then better is the result, we can say, or better is the company. So here we can see that during 2022, the rising cost of the raw materials like steel and semiconductors and other materials were quite high, which lowered the gross margin of these companies. Here from the data, we can conclude that Maruti Suzuki is the only company which was able to improve their gross margin, and it was improved by 0.2%, where Tata Motors declined by 3% and Mahindra declined by 2%. So here Maruti Suzuki in this parameter, gross margin parameter, Maruti Suzuki of course won. Next parameter is our EBITDA margin is nothing but your operating margin, we can see. So it is mainly affected by the raw material cost, factory leases, rents, labor cost, employees salary and so on, like advertising, marketing cost and all that. So operating costs indicate how efficiently these companies are able to manage their cost. So from the data, we can clarify that Maruti Suzuki was the only company out of all the three whose operating margin improved by 2.6%, whereas Tata Motors declined by 1% and Mahindra declined by 2%. So again, in this parameter also, Maruti Suzuki won. Next parameter is a market share. So market share actually shows that the percentage of the total market that is controlled by the company. Okay, so in Q1 2023, Maruti Suzuki was, or actually the market share which Maruti Suzuki won was 39.8%. Tata Motors was 13.4% and Mahindra was 7.6%. With a year change, though Tata Motors declined by 3%, but still Maruti Suzuki, though it declined by 3%, but its market share is quite high with respect to Tata Motors and Mahindra. So anyhow, in respect to this market share parameter, Maruti Suzuki won. So again, we can say that in market share also, Maruti Suzuki was the leader compared to Tata Motor and Mahindra. So the last parameter or fifth parameter is your EPS growth, that is earning per share. Now what does this indicate? So whenever investors try to invest their money, they prefer the company with a steady EPS growth, which shows that business is consistently making more profits. So if the EPS growth quarterly by quarterly, it is growing or it is more positive with respect to the previous quarter, we can say that company's EPS growth is good or it is consistently making profit. So here Maruti Suzuki's EPS growth is quite good or better with respect to Tata Motor and Mahindra. Tata Motors is 86% and Mahindra is 67%. So in this parameter also, Maruti Suzuki won. Or we can say out of all the 5 parameters, Maruti Suzuki gave better performance and comes out as a clear winner. It won in terms of gross margin, operating margin and EPS growth. But does this affected the share price of Maruti Suzuki? Let's see. In actual market, what happened is, share price immediately after the Q1 result of 2023, share price of Mahindra went high by 5%, Tata Motor was 5% and Maruti Suzuki was 4%. Now why does Mahindra share price increased? So reasons were Mahindra's 15% revenue growth was higher than any other auto company and its market share also increased and profit jumped by 67%. So these were the two major factors on which investors liked to invest because they felt the market share of Mahindra has improved a lot and in coming years it is going to improve its EPS also. And also, so from that forecast, investors try to invest or try to purchase the shares of Mahindra. So that's why Mahindra share price performed better in market. So does that mean that 5-metric analysis is wrong? No. What happened is, we can assess overall performance of auto companies or banks or any other sector. We can have that overall performance depending upon these 5 factors. But however, investors sometimes get influenced by the short-term surprises like what happened with M&M. So therefore, investor must be aware of broader market view and news in addition with the 5-metric analysis. So that's all for today. Thank you so much and have a great day.